everybody, welcome back to another episode of Coffee, Cameras and Chill. I'm your host Jay, and this is a place where we drink some coffee, we talk about camera news, and we keep things nice and chill on a beautiful weekend. I say beautiful, but it's actually really cloudy outside. It's a Saturday. Hopefully tomorrow is going to be sunny. But let's forget about all of that. I'm really excited to talk about the coffee that's currently in my glass. I haven't had coffee this good in a long time. It's from my friends over at SleepyBloc. This is their rose. And on the bag it says Colombia, pink Bourbon, rose tea, honey. And you get tasting notes of honeysuckle, Turkish delight, rose petals, and black tea, which of course I can get some of the flavors, not all of them, but the main ones are there. Rose tea, really beautiful, really, it tastes, yeah, just amazing. I'm at a loss for words. If you're in Sydney and you're around the area, DM me, I'll tell you where they are, or you can just go find out yourselves, go onto their Instagram and hit them up and tell them Jay sent you. Before we talk about the cameras, let's go over some housekeeping. I always like to begin with some channel updates. So what's been going on recently? I've released a couple of videos. I believe I did the Fujifilm versus the Ricoh GR4. I did the Nikon ZF review, and I did a complete walkthrough from start to finish of my creative process. But if you guys didn't know, linked in the description of those videos, I have included some new PDFs that I made. So one of the PDFs is a street photography menu settings quick start guide for the Fujifilm X100V, which also applies for the X100VI, and the other one is a street photography menu settings quick start guide for the Ricoh GR4. And both of these PDFs are available in my Gumroad site. I have both of these links in the description, and I'll also pin it in the comment section so you guys don't miss it. And by the way, guys, these are absolutely free. I know when you go onto Gumroad, you'll see in the text input $3, but what you can do is you can actually change that number to 0, and then you can purchase it for free, right? I don't want people going at me in the comments saying that, oh, you're charging money for blah, blah, blah. It's free. You just need to change the value. The Gumroad won't let me set the value to 0, so I just put any random number there. Of course, if you do feel like supporting me, it would mean the world. So do what you will. Either way, these things are going to help you out for absolute beginners or people who are just interested in seeing the settings that I use for my cameras personally. Yeah, go check them out. Links in the description and the comments. Now, let's get on to the main topic, which is camera stuff. What's been going on in the camera world? I personally haven't really been too into the news lately. I'm sure most of you guys are just enjoying the cameras that you have right now and are outside taking more photos rather than gushing over gear. At least I hope that's what you guys are doing. Start with the first brand. Let's talk about Fujifilm. No doubt Fujifilm is releasing the Fujifilm X-T6 either late this year or early next year. I don't really know, but we can easily predict what's going to be on that camera. I mean, it's a new generation processor for sure, and a new generation sensor, because anytime a new XT comes out, we're bound to get the new stuff. Maybe a partially stacked sensor. It wouldn't surprise me if they did that. It will have the flip out screen or the tilt flip screen rather than the fully tiltable articulating screen. But the thing I really want to see for Fujifilm X-T6 and for Fujifilm in general, and I think this is the sentiment for a lot of us enthusiasts out there, better autofocus accuracy. I mean, do we agree here? Better autofocus accuracy. I know every year they say, oh, new processor, faster autofocus, right? What's fast? You can have like multiple green dots or multiple green squares kind of pop up on your LCD screen, but that doesn't really mean anything when you take the photo and half of them are like out of focus. You know what I mean? So rather than saying faster autofocus, why not say more accurate autofocus? I think the speed of autofocus is fine, even for the current generation X-T5 and all the other cameras of Fujifilm lineup. I have no problems with the speed. I just have issues with the autofocus accuracy. It's less obvious when you're shooting photos, but as soon as you hit like video mode and you're shooting video in continuous autofocus, I find that, man, it just starts missing so much. Like it hunts, it still pulses from time to time, and if you don't have the perfect settings, it's just not going to work, right? And you don't want to have to do all of that to make the autofocus work somewhat well. You just want it to work right out of the box. Like look at Sony and Canon, like the eye autofocus just locks onto the eyes. So I really hope Fujifilm does something with the autofocus accuracy for the X-T6. The other thing that I personally wish Fujifilm would release sooner rather than later is the X-Pro4, right? Everyone's waiting for the X-Pro4. Something tells me it's going to be out sometime in 2027 because they've dragged it on for way too long. It's going to inherit all the new processor and sensors of the X-T6, have the same features and everything, partially stacked sensor probably as well, a speedier autofocus, whatever you have you, faster continuous burst. The main thing that people kind of want to see, or it's kind of divided right now, is the rear LCD screen. Because on the X-Pro3, it's one of those ones where it's like, when folded, it doesn't expose the LCD and you gotta like kind of fold it downwards to see the screen. There's mixed opinions about that. I'm just curious to see what Fujifilm is going to do with the rear LCD for the next iteration. Are they gonna keep it the same, or are they gonna do like a fully articulating one, like the Nikon ZF? Like I don't know. But whatever the case, I think people are just going to be happy with a new X-Pro4. Definitely not this year. I have 100% certainty they're not going to be announcing it this year, at least not before the X-T6. So that's all from Fujifilm side that I kind of care about. All right, let's move on to the next camera brand, Ricoh. So I've been using the Ricoh GR4 a lot lately. I've been using it more than I have the X100V. I've just been testing the hell out of it. I've been using it every single day wherever I go. I like to call this camera my grocery run camera because every time I just need to pop outside for a quick sec, I just tend to grab the Ricoh GR4 much more, simply because it's more compact. And that's the main selling point, compactness. Obviously, there are downsides to that camera, which most of you guys know, fixed LCD screen, no viewfinder, but that stuff is kind of a use case thing. I find that even with the X100V, I don't really use the viewfinder that much anymore these days. I kind of just tilt out the LCD and shoot from the hip or from the chest. But let's talk about things that have happened after the GR4 because I haven't talked about it. The Monochrome came out. Amazing camera. Like I genuinely think if I had the money right now, I would also purchase the Monochrome camera. I don't, and no one wants to send me one for a review, so unfortunately I can't cover that, guys. I'd love to, but hey, if anyone's out there is listening and wants to lend me their Monochrome camera for review purposes, reach out to me. The Monochrome came out, fantastic camera. Rave reviews, it's probably still in demand, probably short on production. But after that, they released the 30th anniversary special edition. That camera, I don't know, man. Like it doesn't have as big of a difference that I've hoped to kind of distinguish it from the current Ricoh GR4. And I'm sure most people wouldn't want to touch that camera simply because it's more for collectors. It's just kind of like the Fujifilm X106 special edition. I mean, that one still was a better version than the Ricoh 30th anniversary special edition, but either way, kind of a disappointment, really. The diary edition for the Ricoh GR3 looked nice. I hope they release something similar for the Ricoh GR4 later down in the line. You know, anything's possible, right? Anything to milk those camera sales. The Ricoh GR4X, people have been wanting that camera as well. And yeah, I get it. That camera is quite appealing. The 40mm focal length is starting to grow on me a little bit. I'm actually quite interested in that camera. I don't know if I had the money. Again, I might lean towards getting a 40mm, selling off my GR4 for a GR4X, and then if I had the money, I'd probably get the GR4 monochrome. So I'd have a 28mm black and white camera and a 40mm camera for, you know, color work. I don't know, that would be ideal. It's a lot of money, and the Ricoh GR4X is definitely going to be pretty damn expensive, at least $500 more expensive than the base model GR4. I reckon. You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see like a classic designed viewfinder for the Ricoh GR4. Kind of wish there was like some sort of electronic viewfinder for the Ricoh GR. Like you connect it to the hot shoe and then it will display what the LCD screen displays or something like that. If they made something like that and charged like $200 to $300, I reckon that'll sell pretty well. Because I know a lot of people don't want to buy the GR simply because it doesn't have a viewfinder. So if they made something like that, maybe that would entice certain people. Just a suggestion. I'm just the messenger, right? I don't know anything. What do I know? Oh, that coffee is really damn good. All right, let's talk about Nikon. I made the Nikon ZF video and I stand by everything that I say about that camera. It's an amazing camera. I love the colors of that camera. I swear, like out of every camera that I've used so far, the Nikon ZF in the standard profile is just insane. Like I love it so much. But the weight of that camera, man, it's just a little bit too much. And plus the grip is not amazing. So if you add an extra grip on top of that, it's a little bit much. My brother owns the Nikon ZF, and I bought him the official Nikon grip attachment for it. And then when I hold it in my hand, yeah, it feels better. But man, the weight is a little bit something. It's something, right? I'm so happy about the comment section of that camera review. Everyone's really passionate about it, and I love everyone's opinions, and I respect everyone's opinions about that camera. But we're not talking about the ZF today. What I do want to talk about are the rumors surrounding Nikon right now. There is a lot of talk about Nikon releasing a compact zoom camera. It's something like a Coolpix, and I think that's pretty exciting, right? We've got Panasonic, the new Lumix camera with the zoom. I'll throw the name of it on the screen. I don't even know I can't even remember what it is. If Nikon releases a Coolpix, like the same size, smaller sensor, zoom feature, that will sell really well, because right now the digicam market is going crazy. Everyone's into that kind of digicam aesthetic with the flash, with the built-in flash and all that. So if Nikon makes something nostalgic like a Coolpix, man, I think everyone will jump onto that, especially if it's priced decently. So if something like $400 to $500 or 500 edging onto like $700 would be my upper limit. If they can keep a camera around that price, I just think the concept will be great. Like a pocketable little zoom camera with the current Nikon color profiles. If Nikon doesn't even release that compact style Coolpix camera, I would hope that they would consider making like a smaller sensor, like an APS-C censored interchangeable style compact camera. Something to compete with maybe Lumix S9 or something like that, or the Fujifilm X100 series or the XE5. Like something to compete with those cameras would be pretty cool as well. For me personally, what I would really want to see, and I think what a lot of people would want to see, is if Nikon released a rangefinder styled version of their Nikon ZF. Am I going crazy? Am I the only one who wants to see that? I'm sure I am not. And let me know if you are keen to see that camera as well, because that would be crazy. Fujifilm has the X-Pro4, and that's a beautiful looking camera, right? There's nothing wrong with that camera. And the Leicas, obviously Leica is popular. Everyone loves the Leica look. But back in the day, Nikon made rangefinder cameras too, and low-key, those cameras look sick. Like the Nikon, was it called the S3 or something like that? If they can make a modern digital full-frame rangefinder style Nikon and make it look like the traditional Nikon film cameras as they did with the ZF, I reckon that would be a hit, like a cult classic, like a future classic. The ZF was pretty low-key, and I think only recently have people started catching on to the fact that the ZF is amazing. But I think if they released a rangefinder style version of that camera, man, the entire world will explode. It will just introduce a whole new challenger into the space. Fujifilm will be sweating, Leica will be sweating. It'll just make the competition better, and it'll make the prices more competitive overall. Especially if Nikon prices it correctly, I think it'll be an instant banger. I would highly consider it. I say all this bad stuff about Nikon's weight and how heavy the ZF is, but if they made a rangefinder camera in that same style and it weighed the same, man, I don't care. I'll probably buy it just because I like the rangefinder style of shooting. Like, you have it off to one eye so you can see with the other eye. It just looks cool, right? And the aesthetic of the traditional Nikon rangefinder film cameras, again, absolutely amazing. Nikon, if you're listening to this, please do it. Please do it, and you'll thank me later. Final piece of news that I want to talk about. DJI just announced the launch of the Osmo Pocket 4P. They've launched Osmo Pocket 4, but they've just recently globally launched the 4P. It is a chunky ass gimbal camera. That's all I can say. What's really kind of getting everyone's attention right now is the fact that it has a 1-inch sensor with something called a low-fic tech. The claimed dynamic range for this sensor is 17 stops. So 17 stops of dynamic range, which kind of beats professional cameras that are like 5 times its price. I don't have it on me. I can't test it. I don't know for sure, but that's pretty crazy. And I can see a lot of new content creators looking to enter the space who are looking for like a professional camera with stabilization, but don't want to really buy a huge chunky like mirrorless SLR. The 4P is probably actually all you need these days. It's got 2 optical lenses, one for standard field of view and the other for zoomed in field of view, which is more than you need for content creation. I know for a fact that the DJI Mic Mini 2S is going to come out, which has 32-bit float. So if you buy that, I think that's going to be a great content creation tool and probably everything that you would ever possibly need for a beginner content creator to start making like amazing stuff like cinematic or even just vlogs or whatever. But for the people who are a little bit money conscious, with the release of all these new Osmo Pockets, I think the Osmo Pocket 3 now is going to become more compelling for a lot of people because the price of it is going to go down on the secondhand market. Because I own one, I still think the Osmo Pocket 3 is a phenomenal content creation tool. Like I'm filming on it right now. I'm just shooting on the normal profile. It's great. The only thing that's missing from the 3 to the 4 that I really would want is the ability to shoot proper D-Log, not D-Log M. But that's really technical stuff and most people don't really care for that. So if you're somebody who just wants something really nice straight out of the camera, then I still think the Pocket 3 is a good thing to consider. Old generation tech nowadays is actually really damn good. You don't have to buy the latest and greatest all the time, I'm telling you guys. I don't know if you guys enjoy me yapping like this. I'm trying to not read a script, not read off of a teleprompter, and just be a little bit real in these videos. So if you do enjoy hanging out with me and just listening to me yap for like 20 or 30 minutes, let me know down in the comments below. If you have any opinions about anything that I've said, or if there's any rumors I missed, also write them down in the comment section below. We can chat about it. I'm gonna finish this coffee because it's getting cold, but when it cools down, it actually gets better. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Bye.